halfway underwater. There goes my car floating away.
Breaking right now on Denver 7 News at 6 a.m. Ian downgraded to a tropical storm, but the damage is done.
New video this morning, firefighters using jet skis to get to people trapped in their homes in Naples. We're on the ground in Florida this morning.
New this morning, the one bright spot in Colorado's economy as inflation drags on. Just released results of an eye-opening survey of local business leaders.
Hands-on learning for high school students. The plans to give kids a project we desperately need in Colorado. Yeah, they're going to be building houses soon.
And building
in
for
high
their
school.
future.
And,
Yeah.
I mean, it's amazing what they're doing in high schools now. I love it.
Yeah. No, it's cool.
Good morning. Thanks for joining us today. I'm Nicole Brady.
And I'm Brian Sanders. Jason is here with a look at the roads.
Yeah,
which
so
nothing
far so
too
good. Just a
out of
couple
the
of minor
ordinary.
things here and there, some overnight construction, that sort of thing, but otherwise okay.
Whenever he does then you know it's good news. It's good news.
Yeah.
Weather-wise,
It's another one of those days.
More 80s. We are in for what's going to be another warm one as your kids are getting ready for school today. Speaking of high school and elementary, we're looking at and middle school. Don't forget those kids. Mid to upper 50s here by the time your kids get out the door to the bus. We'll see some low to mid 80s by the time they get home this afternoon. Slight chance for an isolated storm. Waiting on that sunrise this morning from our Viero camera out east. It's going to be a little mix of sun and clouds for us. A warm afternoon. Denver right around 85. Some mid to even upper 80s for parts of northeastern Colorado, and 60s and 70s in the mountains. Now, most of the storms that we're going to see today will be in the high country. There's a slight chance we'll see one or two roll east. A much better chance of getting some of that green right over Denver here starting tomorrow afternoon. We'll take a look at the rest of this futurecast and the wet weather and the cooler weather that's to come coming up.
And right now we're dry. No weather issues for us right now on the roadways. We have one crash on the south side. It's over there in Littleton on Bellevue, right by Cornerstone Park at Windermere, just a little bit off of Santa Fe. The heaviest traffic right now is in those usual spots. Now, we do have some leftover construction out there to the west side of town along I-70. I want to take you to the camera here at I-76 and 270. Starting to get busier on 270. As well as that westbound side of I-76. And the drive times reflect some of that slowing in here, whether it's here or here across 270. So very typical stuff for us. Still looking at that lingering construction out there to the west side. So a couple extra minutes out there through that paving zone. We're out by Lakeside and the south side of town. Otherwise, from that crash that we have over there at Bellevue and Windermere, we're looking pretty good.
Well, we do have some breaking news this morning. We are getting confirmation about the first death in the U.S. connected to Ian. In a Facebook post, the Volusia Sheriff's Office says a 72-year-old man died after going outside to drain his pool in the storm.
And it has been just devastating to see these images. Ian downgraded to a tropical storm overnight, but take a look at how bad this was at maximum power. This is video of the Sanibel Causeway, which has been completely wiped out.
Yeah.
This is the bridge connecting the peninsula in the Fort Myers region to Sanibel Island. It is the only land connection there, so they'll need boats to get to anyone who was trapped on the island. Ian hit at full strength 150 miles per hour, a Category 4, tied for the 5th strongest hurricane to hit the U.S.
And there are scenes like that all over the state, really. More than 2.5 million homes and businesses still don't have power. So life will be difficult. Things will be difficult until they can get help on the way. President Biden has approved a major disaster declaration for 9 Florida counties. ABC's Justin Finch kicks off our coverage from Tampa this morning.
Good morning. As Ian moves northeast, forecasters warn there's still high risk for strong wind gusts, torrential rain, and storm surge in some areas. Astonishing sights out of southwest Florida, where Ian made landfall as a forceful Category 4 storm, whipping up walls of water in Fort Myers, swamping roads, leaving just the tops of cars visible. Just more than an hour later, those same cars completely covered, the water rising to reach treetops and roofs. Fort Myers Caloosahatchee River overflowing into the city, flooding a downtown area. South of that area, Ian's force snatching down power lines in downtown Naples. The Naples Fire Department fighting through floodwaters to rescue this trapped driver. This map showing how much of this area has been flooded by storm surge, with Ian still raging. Christopher Barcia has lived in Naples for nearly 30 years, recording this video as the water creeps up.
That house halfway underwater. There goes my car floating away.
Inland flooding, the deadliest component of hurricanes for the past 30 years. As Ian loses strength and moves northeast, President Biden warning Floridians.
The danger is real, and when the storm passes, the federal government's going to be there to help you recover.
Florida under a state of emergency, fast-tracking disaster relief resources. Georgia, South Carolina, and North Carolina also declaring states of emergency, with Ian forecast to move their way in just days. Ian's wind speed tied it for the 5th strongest hurricane to strike the U.S., along with several more storms. And this morning, the impact is still being felt. More than 2 million customers across Florida have lost electricity. 19,000 utility crews called in to restore power. Justin Finch, ABC News, Tampa.
Well, utility workers from Xcel are sending a large team to Florida to help restore power to the more than 2 million people, as we mentioned, who lost electricity overnight. So there go the trucks. Xcel says 270 workers are on their way right now, including some from Colorado and New Mexico.
We have some breaking news here in the metro. Police in Lone Tree are investigating a shooting. This is a live look at the scene at Word of Life Church off Park Meadows Drive near Yosemite. A window was shot out of the car on scene there, according to our photographer. We are still working to find out if anyone was hurt, but this may be affecting your drive along Park Meadows Drive. New this morning, Colorado business leaders still have low expectations about the end of this year. The just released Business Confidence Index from CU's Leeds School of Business was the 4th lowest in its 20-year history. No surprise, inflation is the greatest concern among those who were surveyed for this, but that is now followed by interest rates and supply chain and worker shortages. There is one bright side, though. Colorado's employment recovery is still outperforming most other states, increasing nearly 2% above the pre-recession peak as of August of this year.
Well, we are less than 6 weeks out now from midterm elections, and in Pueblo last night, Democratic Governor Jared Polis and Republican challenger Heidi Ganahl met face-to-face on the debate stage. Among the issues they sparred over was public safety.
I will replace the parole board. I will stop our sanctuary status and allow ICE to do their job in law enforcement. I will appoint tough judges. I will declare a state of emergency on fentanyl and clean up this state.
Look, if I'm reelected your governor, we have a track record of getting things done. And I will come before you 4 years from now and we'll talk about how we move Colorado from 21st in violent crime to one of the 10 lowest states for violent crime.
Also, some dates to keep in mind. October 17th is the first day ballots can be mailed to voters. Election Day is November 8th.
Well, for years as an education reporter, I covered the movement to get students more career skills while they're still in high school. Meanwhile, for years, we've also covered an affordable housing crisis. I found out Boulder Valley Schools is doing something to address both those needs. Plans are in motion to build a factory on the campus of Boulder Technical Education Center and eventually bring home construction indoors. It starts simple enough.
I really like the saw.
Learning the equipment.
This is called a lathe. I do not know how to spell it.
But with every new skill and project, students at Boulder Tech are gaining experience for a career. So why are you interested in construction?
I would like to be a general contractor out of high school.
These students are already earning OSHA certification and college credit while in high school.
It's a great situation that a lot of students are taking advantage of.
But future Boulder Tech students will be able to add something even bigger to their resumes, a whole house.
Our Boulder Tech students will be able to partner with Habitat for Humanity here in the city and in creating modular units that will be set on site in the north part of Boulder.
Modular construction is a growing industry. The city of Boulder sees the potential for it to address an affordable housing crisis.
Boulder's been experiencing this challenge for the past half century, basically.
The city bought the Ponderosa Mobile Home Park in North Boulder and hopes the modular homes students build can eventually replace aging mobile units. You'd never know these homes were built in a factory. And with modular construction, new units can be placed on a site in a matter of weeks rather than the years it can take to build 70 homes the traditional way.
One of the things that we hear all the time from the students is that they want the opportunity to give back. They want to see the impact of what they're doing and the positive impacts on the community.
Of course, they still have to build the factory. The hope is that will be done by 2024, giving future students real-world experience in a world where housing has become one of our most pressing needs. And the district and city are still finalizing an agreement to annex the site where the modular home factory will be built. Of course, one nice thing about building a home inside, Lisa, is you don't have to worry about the weather outside.
Very good point. You're right. Yeah, today, not a worry kind of day, though. We're going to be in for some pretty nice weather. We're in the 50s, even a few 60s this morning. You can see a few of the clouds out there early on. A great day if your kids want to bike to school, if you want to bike to work, or if they get home this afternoon and just want to get out. We're going to be in the low 80s, low to mid 80s by the time they get home from school, and then 70s as we get closer to sunset. So a really pretty day today and overall dry. More rain expected this weekend. I'll show you where coming up.
We have a power outage of some sort that's affecting the W line right now, and we have trains that are not running out to the west side of town. This is 6th Avenue right there at Sheridan. This is the eastbound side. There's the westbound side. So this looks good, but we have that power outage of some sort. It doesn't seem like it's a widespread thing. I'm not seeing like big power outages with traffic lights or that sort of thing out, but it is definitely affecting the W line out to the west side.
All rise. Yankees slugger Aaron Judge makes baseball history last night, how he reserved his spot in the record books next to another famous Yankee. Plus, no more card clipped onto your jacket. Your next ski pass could be scanned on your phone. The resort's trying out this new technology. Plus,
Yeah, this is always so fun to watch. Lizzo playing the flute, a reminder of how good she is on this hundreds-year-old instrument.